This has to be the end of Colby Covington for a title run because he got absolutely demolished by Joaquin Buckley. Those first 2 rounds, Joaquin Buckley came out hot. He came in pressed. He just threw those left hooks, those right hooks, and they were all landing. And Colby was just in so much pain. You could just see the look in his face, the blood pouring out of his eye. It was so red and so hard to look at. And every time he would try to shoot for a takedown, he just couldn't get it done. And Joaquin Buckley, man, I got to give him credit. He was very patient in the pocket. He was picking and choosing his punches very wisely against Colby Covington, and he easily stuffed his takedown. But when we got towards the 3rd round, we kind of see Colby maybe shift the tide a little bit. He was finally able to take out Joaquin Buckley. He was pouring his blood all over his shorts. Like, that leak was filthy to see, man. And that shit honestly was just kind of sad seeing Colby Covington just lose like that. The fact that the doctor came in and stopped it, should it have gone on a little longer? Look, I don't really know. In ways, I feel no, but I felt that 3rd round, Colby Covington looked better than most rounds, and I felt that he could have arguably won that round and maybe shifted it in the next couple of rounds moving forward. So the fact that Dan Miragliotta stepped in and got the doctor to check it up just kind of left a sour note, but I cannot discredit Joaquin Buckley. He looked fantastic against Colby Covington, especially in those first 2 rounds. Like, he's definitely going to be a threat in the top 5, but moving forward, what happened now with Mr. Chaos Covington? I mean, you just come off 2 losses back to back, and in cases you didn't look good in either fight. Against Leon, you looked terrible. Against Joaquin Buckley, you didn't look that great either. And I understand, Colby Covington is saying that he didn't really train for this fight. He was more focused on helping Trump's campaign. So when he fought in 2 weeks' notice, there was not much going on for him. He's saying he's still going to fight. Apparently, he's not going to retire, which very much surprises me. But moving forward now, who are you going to get him to fight? Like, in my opinion, the only fights you could possibly make are really just getting him to fight maybe Dustin Poirier, Conor McGregor, just big name value guys that are in a stalemate that have nothing left to go for. Maybe run it back with Jorge Masvidal. It looks like there's still some blood left to patch between those two. So there's work to be done, and maybe those fights could be the saving grace for Colby Covington's career. You go on a run, you beat these guys, who knows? Maybe you could fight another contender after that, because your name is still going to be up there. You're still going to be at the top of the card if you're fighting a Dustin Poirier, if you're fighting a Conor McGregor, and that's the way people are going to back you and want to watch your fights. And look, you get an easy fight like McGregor nowadays. Look, McGregor is washed the shit. I love Conor McGregor, but if he were to step in the cage with Colby Covington, I best believe Colby Covington's gonna demolish him. He's gonna take him down. He's gonna beat him up on the ground and just toy with Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor is not the same fighter as he used to be. He's over here talking about he's not gonna fight in the UFC until he gets this fight done with Logan Paul in India in an exhibition boxing match. You know he doesn't want to come back to the cage at this point. Like, there is nothing left to give for him either. But Colby, the only way he could possibly come back is if he fights guys of that caliber. There is not much left for him to do. If you're not going to fight those guys, you might as well retire, in my opinion, because at that point, you have nothing left to give, and you're just going to destroy your body and destroy your mind, adding more fights to your career over some bullshit. So that's what I think. Colby Covington, you must retire. But UFC Tampa overall, it was a hell of a card. I was there, honestly, probably one of the best UFC events I've ever been to. That fight card was fantastic. Like, the co-main event against Cub Swanson and Billy, you know who I'm talking about, guys. Like, that fight was a banger. Cub Swanson looked like his OG self back in the days, in the mid-2010s, going on a crazy run in the featherweight division. He knocked out Billy cold, bro. That shit was scary, and he fought really well, and apparently he might retire. And on top of that, Dustin Jacoby knocking out Victor Petrino, that is the last thing I'd ever expect. And the craziest part was, he was losing the fight up until he knocked him out. Like, Dustin Jacoby pulled out the Hail Mary from hell with that right hand and slept Victor Petrino. I did not expect that going into that card. And Victor Petrino, he looked pretty good throughout the whole fight. Usually he's pretty clumsy, clumsy, but he was piecing up Dustin Jacoby for the most part. And Dustin Jacoby, credit to him, he was being patient throughout the whole fight. He didn't really engage in much of Victor Petrino's exchanges, found the opportunity, and he took it, man. That right hand was clean as shit, bro. And another fight I want to talk about, Joel Alvarez and Dakar Close. What a banger. What a banger. Joel Alvarez, apparently he's going to move up to welterweight now. The way he knocked him out, vicious, dude. He had his hand under his chin and he was punching him. It looked like he was choking him out and knocking him out at the same time. That shit was scary to see. And there was just so many good fights. Sean Woodson knocking out Padilla with 5 seconds left of the first round. That shit was fun. There was so many bangers. Even Felipe Lima, wow, this guy's gonna be one to watch in the featherweight division because he was piecing up Miles Johns, man. He is someone that I could see being in the top 5 someday in the featherweight division. Michael Johnson too, he might finally go on his title run of dreams after knocking out Otmar with that flush right hand, putting him to bed. So much went down this weekend, and it was just a great way to end the UFC card of the year. Even Manel Kape, dude. Manel Kape went fucking nuts. That boy was beating the crap out of Bruno Silva, and he made his mark on the mic, calling out everybody in the flyweight division. I mean, homie was calling out Pantoja, Kai Kara France, Brandon Moreno. He wants smoke with everybody, and I'm here for it because that performance he pulled off against Bruno Silva, he was destroying him. It reminded me of Anderson Silva, just the showboating and the joking around throughout that whole fight. It was just a beautiful performance from him. And even Daniel Marcos beating Adrian Yanez. That fight was great too. Like, these guys were giving it their all back and forth at times, you know. I thought Daniel Marcos did get the better of Adrian Yanez, but they displayed a beautiful performance. And Daniel Marcos is really racking his way up to the top 15 and getting big fights in the bantamweight division, which is a scary division. There's a lot of great fighters there. You know, you got Umar, you got Sean, you got Petr Yan, Davis and Figueiredo. There's a list of names there. Song Yadong, Chito Vera. The list goes on and on. So him beating a guy like Adrian Yanez, that's just going to propel him to another level. And we could possibly see him fight, I don't know, maybe a Rob Font next. I think that'd be a good fight. There's a lot that could go down after this card. So I'm ready to see it go down. But overall, the card was fantastic. It was a great way to end the year. So many KOs, so many fun fights. So much shit just went down, and I was just happy to be there. Like, that, it was crazy the way the UFC ended off that fight, and I'm excited for 2025. UFC 311's gonna be a banger. I mean, we got Islam fighting Armin, we got Yuri fighting Jamal Hill, and so many other fights. I might have to make a separate video on that, but overall, I'm excited for 2025. Y'all let me know, what did y'all think of the UFC Tampa card? And anyways, people, good game, boys. Catch you later. Deuces, I'm out.